Hey folks, uh, if you've been following security news, you would have seen that a bug in React was reported, disclosed, and now PoCs are available, labeled as CVE-2025-55182, rated CVSS 10. It's critical unauthenticated remote code execution issue. Uh, there is a website called React to Shell. I recommend you folks take a look at this as well and read through any links that are mentioned here. I will not go into the technical details of what the bug is. There are a lot of blog posts and other things out there that will give you an explanation. But what I'll show to you folks today is how to detect this in Burp, right? Detect and exploit using Burp, because that's our primary tool that we use for testing. So let's take a look at that. I've got a localhost setup. There's a very simple RC environment that I've built running on Next.js. And from a functionality point of view, it has a form where you can submit data and it will print it back to you, right? The traffic right now is going through Burp. And again, as I said, make sure that you do read through the technical details of the issue. What we'll look at is how to detect and exploit this, and doing this through Burp for that matter. So if you send traffic to Burp, in Burp, make sure that your extensions, if you go to extensions and go to the BAP store, ActiveScan++ is installed. Right, for me it is installed, which is I see a reinstall button. And to use this, I have to simply run an active scan. But before you go run an active scan, make sure that you have this installed, ActiveScan++, and under installed, just make sure that it is enabled. Right? So if I go to ActiveScan plus, make sure that this is tick marked. Right? A lot of times this is not tick marked even though the extension is installed, and then you'll be wondering why you're not getting results. Make sure that this is tick marked. Then go back to your proxy and actually go to target and then select the target and click on scan. The default scan will work, right? We don't have to change any setting because active scan from the documentation. We'll just select lightweight and click on scan. If you look at the release documentation for active scan++, they do detect React to shell and the standard active scan will work, right? So just take a look at what's happening in the scan. Go back to issues. Actually, sorry. Go to dashboard and you click on the issue here. You'll see that the scan is running and one issue was identified. The issue that we're trying to identify was detected, right? So this is the way you can detect in Burp, running an active scan by default using the scanner module within Burp. How about exploitation? Right? So you go to one post request, any post request that has a NextAction header, right, and a standard post. We'll send this to repeater. In this, we will send the malicious, I've got it here, form data that is required for exploitation. Okay, so this is the standard form data that this application has. It will vary based on what application you're testing. This will be different for different types of applications. It will have more or less in terms of form data. But what we need to add is for these boundaries in this multi-part boundary, we'll just create two more. We need one more called with name 1, right? And this form data name 0 will replace. And these are variable and this is value, right? Because the multi-part form. I'll just pick one that I have for content disposition form data 1. I can actually rename this, right? Or I'll just create a new one. I'll just copy, paste, and content disposition 1 I'll add form data 1. Okay, so you have 0 and 1. The 0th data name 0 has to be modified with exploit code. Basically, I'm asking it to the deserialization issue. I'm not going into detail, but the exploit runs calculator. And you can modify this and do reversion or anything, but for proof of concept, we'll run this I click on send. Because I have the servers hosted locally on my machine, you have calculator popping up, right? If this was going to be tested for remote, or rather if you're going to be exploiting this on remote servers, you'll obviously try and get a reverse shell, right? Or you're creating a file in their local or temporary directory, or reading a file, say etc passwd. But all of those will run on the remote server. You'll have to figure out a way to get the data to you. The easiest is to do a reverse shell, right? So that's how you would detect using actor scanner and exploit using Burp.